The cash ISA is being slashed. How could this affect your financial future? Yes, for the first time in over a decade, ISAs are changing, and this could quietly cost you more in tax than you think. The government is reportedly planning to reduce the cash ISA allowance from £20,000 down to £5,000. Now, if you've got savings packed in cash, especially as a doctor or NHS staff, this matters big time. Let's break it down. Now, hey, of course, if you're new here, I'm Dr. Andy Eguim. I'm a former salaried NHS GP, and after 20 plus years of investing, I was able to walk away from my salaried job. I'm the founder of MoneyWiseDoctor.com, and Moneywise Doctor has taught over 1,000 UK doctors how to invest tax efficiently with confidence, and provided 4,000 medics with our free personal finance course for medics that just takes 5 minutes a day. Now, let's just get into it. If you want to get the course, head over to moneywisedoctor.com/subscribe or hit the link in the description to get it. Now, let's talk about these ISA changes that are looming over us now. Now, we all know how popular the cash ISAs are. They are really, really quite popular. As you may already know, cash ISAs are by far the most popular choice among UK savers. They are far more popular than their ISA cousins. By ISA cousins, I mean like stock and shares ISA, even the lifetime ISA. And more individuals in the UK open a cash ISA than any other ISA type. We all know that. In fact, right now, 12.7 million people in the UK use cash ISAs, and in April alone, a record 14.7 billion was pumped into cash ISAs. There are about 300 billion pounds sitting in cash ISA accounts. So there are lots of studies that have shown that it's clear that UK has a more savings-oriented culture than an investment culture when compared to countries like the US or Germany, for instance. So it's no secret that this is a country that would prefer to save. Now, it seems the government is trying to change that. Now, is that good or bad? Well, the Chancellor Rachel Reeves has been reported as saying that this cash ISA proposed cut will stimulate investment and unlock the economy, encouraging more people to shift money into stock and shares rather than just saving. But here is the problem. I've got a few issues with that, and I wonder what you think of it as well. One, savers save for a reason. It's easy to assume that people save due to a lack of knowledge or fear of investing. And while that is true in most cases, consider this. We teach doctors that a crucial step to investing is having an emergency fund, which is typically 3 to 6 months worth of your living expenses saved in cash. So where do you think they keep it? In a cash ISA, of course, because it's tax-free and risk-free, something you can't guarantee in a stock and shares ISA. And even me, as a committed investor with years of experience, I still use a cash ISA for my emergency fund. Also think about a retired GP or NHS consultant in their 70s. They would likely prefer to keep a good portion of their money liquid, so as cash, alongside maybe bonds or dividend-paying stocks. So a cash ISA is perfect for their cash, allowing them to earn interest tax-free. This is how to get financially smarter in just 5 minutes. Sometimes the difference between making smarter financial decisions and costly, horrible financial mistakes is having the right information at the right time for the right person. So every week, I write the Moneywise Doctor weekly newsletter. It's an email newsletter packed full with valuable financial insights and updates to help you make smarter financial decisions and avoid costly mistakes. Some of the areas I've been covering over the last 70 weeks include actionable tips on tax strategies, pensions, investing, side hustles, and several other financial areas. Now, join thousands of medics who subscribe to the Moneywise Doctor weekly newsletter to receive it straight to your inbox, and it's totally free. Don't miss out. Subscribe now using the link in the description. And now let's jump right back to the episode. A government policy change like this is unlikely to alter their fundamental strategy for this group, because they will probably prioritize cash over stock market investment. So trying to force more people into investing into the stock market to stimulate the British economy, it sounds a little naive. I know this, and I know the Chancellor is much smarter than that. Here's why I say that. I live in the UK, but the lion's share of my stock and shares investment is not even in the UK. An intelligent investor would look for the best risk-adjusted returns anywhere globally. So even if the government truly wants to stimulate the investment in UK companies, like through the London Stock Exchange, they may consider revisiting the Brit ISA that was previously announced, then abandoned. Remember the British ISA that would have given an extra £5,000 for ISA, so you can invest in things like FTSE 100. Well, most average UK investors I know actually invest in broad, well diversified index fund, which are usually containing a lot of US weighted, index funds are there. They are at the top of the table. So cutting the cash ISA to get people to invest might not mean more investment in the UK economy. Now, an average person who is a saver, or an average person who is already afraid of investing, is not going to automatically become an investor overnight. Some might try to learn, but the policy change alone wouldn't make them ready to risk their capital. Many might just opt for paying the tax on the interest rather than venturing into investment. So the ultimate effect of this policy may not just be getting more people to become investors, but simply to collect more tax revenue for the government. That said, I firmly believe you should be learning how to invest, because that's how you can take advantage of compounding, truly beat inflation. The more financially educated you are, the less risky you are as an investor. Just like your medical training makes you safe with patients, learning to invest makes you to become an intelligent investor and makes you safer with your own money. I think this is really quite crucial, and why I think it matters to you, especially as a medic, is if you have significant cash in savings, you are especially exposed to changes like this. One, if you're a higher rate taxpayer with a PSA of just about £500, or an additional rate taxpayer with no PSA at all. And no, I'm not talking about PSA as in prostate specific antigen. I mean your personal savings allowance, the amount you can save and get interest on without being charged a tax. So this means the interest on your cash could soon be taxed, unless it's inside a tax wrapper like an ISA. Now, if this goes through, more medics will pay more tax silently, automatically and needlessly on interest from their cash. Now, you can explore a few options, but I'll just do a quick refresher if you remember the ISAs. As you already know, there are 4 types. I've talked about them several times on this channel. The cash ISA, tax-free interest but often poor growth. Think of it like savings account with a tax shield. There's number 2, my favorite, the stock and shares ISA is for investing. It offers tax-free dividends and capital gains. There's number 3, lifetime ISA. You can open it before your 40 years and the government can give you a 25% bonus up to £1,000 if used for your first home or for retirement. And of course, there's a 4th one, innovative finance ISA, peer-to-peer lending. That is a bit more complex and carries higher risk. If you want a full breakdown of each of the ISAs, you can check the video linked above somewhere on the screen. I've got a complete guide that is jargon-free and easy to understand. So what could you do if this cash ISA change happens? Of course, this is not financial advice. It's just financial education that can help you make smarter choices, but there are a few things you can explore. 1, you can use up your ISA allowance now. You can use up the amount you want to put in your cash ISA and just use it now before any changes. Number 2, you might not want to sit on too much cash. You might look at things like money market funds or fixed incomes like bonds, where you get a return without risking too much of your capital. And even some stock and shares ISA will give you some interest, good interest on your uninvested cash. But watch out, they might start reducing it now, especially with this change. So think about it. The third option, of course, would be things like UK government investments, where your capital is relatively secure, like treasury bills and gilts. Gilts are just UK government bonds. They might be safer than stocks, but they still will not beat inflation. In fact, they're not beat inflation. Some people have suggested premium bonds, which is more of a lottery than an investment. I don't consider it as a real strategy. So it's really important to think about these things, to wonder how can you be tax efficient and make sure that your money is working for you. And look, if all this feels a bit overwhelming, don't panic. I've got good news. I'm hosting a free smart tax investing masterclass for medics this Wednesday. It will be by 8 p.m. so you can attend for free. Look at ISAs, SIPs, NHS pensions, how you can combine them to be tax efficient for your long-term financial well-being and early retirement. Helps you to get some financial peace. We'll look at the 7 costly mistakes that medics make that could lead to financial disaster when investing. I also share how I invest in startups in a tax-efficient way that helps me to get tax back, like things like the SEIS, the EIS, and the rest of it. And of course, we'll look at how to avoid the 60% tax trap, while still being tax efficient, and you can use even that strategy to invest. Of course, there are only 150 spots for this session, and if you want to attend, you want to grab a slot, just type free in the comments or check the links in the descriptions and you can join. So, how can you take advantage of the situation, or how are you going to respond if these changes happen? I've done most of the talking to this point, so it's your turn now. Tell me in the comments, what do you think of the proposed ISA changes? Do you think a cut in cash ISA will really get more people to invest, or is it just about increasing tax revenues? Let's talk in the comments, and I'll be sharing more insights here and more details. As we get more information, we'll break it down. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and share this to a friend or colleague who might find it useful. Of course, if you found this video useful, you might want to watch my next video, which is like a breakdown of ISAs and how you can use them properly. Check somewhere on the link in the descriptions or on the screen. Click on it and you can watch it for free. All right then, till next time. See you later. Bye-bye.